So I know I was rushing the last video and I was worried about time, so I will slow down a little bit, okay? So let's go to number 3. What I'm saying is this is the answer for number 3. That means, oops, with the negative. The problem is that I'm saying x could be any number, 1, 5, -6, 2/3, any number in the whole wide world. But the problem is that's not true, because if I end up putting in a value of 1, then it could be 1/6, and that's possible, -1/6. But if I put in 0, then 0 to the 7th power is 0 times 6 is 0. That would not be a possible value, because when I set this equal to 0, I divide by 6, which is 0. And if you take the 7th root of nothing, it's still nothing. So your final answer would be -1 over 6x to the 7th, but x cannot equal 0. So some of you go, is it always going to be 0? Well, let's find out. I set this equal to 0, divide by 4, divide by 4. So -7 over 4a, x cannot equal 0 again. Oh, a cannot equal 0. The thing is, if I set this equal to 0, I add 3, divide by 2, r equals 3/2. So I'm saying the final answer is 5r plus 6 over 2r minus 3. R can be any number in the whole wide world, but if you make r 3/2, it's not going to work. So I'm saying, okay, here's the rules. You can do whatever you want, but here's my one rule. You cannot do this, or it's not going to work for me. Okay? Let's try the next one. If I set that equal to 0, I get 1. So my final answer is x minus 4 over x minus 1, but x cannot equal 1. Now this one, there is no denominator, so there are no restrictions, okay? I don't know if you remember quarter 1, because that was a long time ago, or quarter 2, depending on what class you're in. But remember when we had, let me zoom that out a little bit, those, and we called those rational functions. And when we graphed them, it was like this and like this. And it looks like it approached that, but never touched it. Okay? And so you're going to learn later in this chapter how to more accurately graph this. But that means it cannot be this value. It cannot be this value. When we're doing our domain and our range, we're like all real numbers, but x cannot equal 0, right? And this would actually be moved up 5. But it's the idea that there are some restrictions when you have an x in the denominator. And this is also the one where when you've been answering, is it a function? Nope, it's not a function. So what does that mean when we talk with the -6? There are no restrictions. There's no denominators. I don't have issues with you. Okay? Sorry, I had something earlier and it gave me pretty bad allergies. Now, this one, which looks like this is number 13. 13, the answer was here. This time I have 2 x's. So now I've got 2 issues. I've got 2 rules. If I set this equal to 0, I get 0. If I set this equal to 0, I get 5/7. So my final answer would be, and I know I don't have much space, and I'm sorry for that, 2 over x plus 5 over 3x, 7x minus 5. Let me make that a little bit bigger. And I'm saying, great. The only deal is that x cannot equal 0 and x cannot equal 5/7. Last one, number 15. I only have 1 issue. And I'm actually going to go like this. Do a comma. N cannot equal 1/3. Okay? So let's talk about what your homework is. Hold on, I have to sneeze. So your homework is going to be to do the right side. And they pretty much match. So that'll be the first part of your homework. And then we're going to turn the page, and this will be the other part of your homework. A lot of this is review. I ended up not using as much CPM stuff. Now, some of these are multiple choice. If you just circle a letter in the alphabet, I'm not going to give you full credit. So you got to show me some work for finding the line. You got to show me some work to get this answer. You got to show me some work. Now, it might not be a lot of work, but you got to show me something. And honestly, these will not be a lot of work. You should just be able to see the answer. That's okay if you don't. This will be some work. That's why there's space. And this is taking this graph and interpreting it here. I took this, I think, from your chapter 1 or chapter 2 packet. I took this exact problem. So if you need help, look at it there. Okay?
Excuse me, sorry.